darlings. My name is Jules and today I'm going to be ranking everything that Luke Thompson has been in. If you don't know who Luke Thompson is, he is most well known for his role on the Bridgerton series where he plays Benedict Bridgerton. But why am I doing this? So, my senior year of high school, I had the most god-awful English teacher. I was in a college-level English class, and she was like, I know none of y'all want to take English ever again, so I'm gonna make this easy for y'all. And she made it easy for us by telling us what to think about the material. And if you disagreed with her, you were wrong. And literally, I hated that class so much. My mom's an English teacher, so I would come home and rant to her. It was abhorrent. And so we were reading Hamlet, and I was just like muscling through. I'm like, this is fucking terrible. Like, I can't do this. And then I was watching Bridgerton with my mom because it was about the time that season 3 came out, and I was like, oh, Luke Thompson was in Hamlet. And I was like, okay, I'll go watch Hamlet with him in it. It's free on YouTube, go watch it. It's so phenomenal with Andrew Scott. But I watched it as we read it, and it made me fall in love with Shakespeare. But then, because I am getting a degree in acting, I'm always trying to diversify what I'm watching, right? So I'd never really watched any British shows before. And so I was like, this is perfect. I'm going to watch everything he's ever been in. My credentials to rank these are I'm an acting major, casting minor with training and producing at Savannah College of Art and Design. Also, as I rank these, if you're watching this and you worked on this, please hire me. You are obviously better than me because you were able to get something produced and done. So everything I say, take it with a grain of salt. Don't be offended, and please hire me. I would like a job. So the list, how we're gonna rank stuff is we're gonna have 6 tiers. The bottom tier is gonna be Donde Está, because there is so many things he's been in that I don't know where they are. There is a film version of them, I know that for a fact. What the hell was that? Oh, okay. You're good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Almost there. And give them the award. How this ranking is gonna work, I'm gonna tell you about the play. I'm then going to give my review of it, I guess. And then I'm gonna talk about his acting, which his acting is phenomenal in all of these, so be prepared. The first thing we have is in 2014, Shakespeare's Globe, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And I'm gonna put that on the give them the award tier. A Midsummer Night's Dream is the first comedy of Shakespeare that I've ever seen, and it is phenomenal. It's a metacuentos, and it's beautiful, and it's fun, and it's lighthearted. I will say the reason that I paused is I almost put it in almost there. It's set at the Globe Theater. So for those of you who don't know the Globe, it's what Shakespeare originally put his plays on. And the audience is standing, it's standing room only, which, holy goodness, I would love to attend at the Globe. However, I was talking to my mom about it, and my mom was like, I don't like theater enough to stand for 3 whole hours to watch Shakespeare. Which, fair enough. That is very fair. My main critique, I think, of the Globe Theater, it's more apparent in this one, but the next thing he was in was Julius Caesar, and so it's apparent in that one as well. The play is set in ancient Greece. It was written in Elizabethan era, and so the costume designer didn't quite know which to pull from. So in this play in particular, they'll be dressed like an ancient Greek garb, and you're like, okay, great. Someone will randomly come in with Elizabethan era clothes, and then you're kind of like, huh? What's happening? And you get a little bit confused as an audience member. They did that also in Julius Caesar. And I'm not a dramaturg, so I don't know, I'm sure that was intentional because it's at the Globe, but I don't know, it did kind of take me out for a minute. That's the only thing that I was like, maybe not give them the award, but I just think the way that they have this staged is so brilliant. It's very difficult sometimes to do Shakespeare because there is multiple settings and there's so many different moving parts, but it's very well done. I highly recommend watching it. But now to talk about Luke's acting, he has this uncanny ability to connect with Shakespeare and relay it back to a modern audience. And I really appreciate that. He's very good in this role. He plays Lysander, who is one of the love interests. The next thing I have is Tiger County. That was filmed in 2014. Donde Está? That's where that one goes. Where is it? I don't know where it is. Please DM me the link. I would like to watch it. I'll have to do an updated version of this then. Maybe don't DM me the link, but do, because I kind of want to see it. Next in 2015, we have Globe on Screen's Julius Caesar. Luke Thompson plays Mark Anthony in this one. I'm gonna put this in almost there. Like, I really struggled when I was watching it because it had the same costuming issues. My sister's obsessed with ancient Greece, and she's 10, and she looked over at my screen and she goes, what are they wearing? That really took me out of it. I don't like Julius Caesar. It's probably one of my least favorite Shakespeare plays. We read it in 10th grade, and I was Mark Antony. They put the conspirators of Caesar's death on trial, and I was Mark Antony, and they put me on the stand and they were like, so were you having an affair with Julius Caesar? And I don't know if that like is really keeping me from enjoying this. I see the brilliance in that the first half of the play is a political commentary and then the second half is chaos. I see like the brilliance in the play. I absolutely get that. However, it doesn't do it for me. Luke Thompson's acting in this, phenomenal. I think Mark Antony is extremely hard to play. But he does it in this way that's so, oh my god, he's beautiful. The next one we have is The Complete Walk, Romeo and Juliet. And this one's going in Donde Está? Where is it? The next movie is Dunkirk. Allied soldiers from Belgium, the British Commonwealth, and the Empire, and France are surrounded by the German army and evacuated during a fierce battle in World War II. I like the story. I think it's very well done. The shots are absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I will say, it's not my cup of tea. I'm going to acknowledge that first and foremost. I don't do war movies. I think that I don't like them. Just point blank period. My biggest issue with this film is that it's so white. I hate to say that, but I have like face blindness, and so when I tell you every single man in this film looks like they have come from the same mother, like, and I'm not saying that to be like mean, but they're all British men, and I'm like, I can't tell the difference between y'all. And so I was supposed to like care that so and so died, but I was like, who are you? Who are you? Like, I was just so confused the entire time because I was like, I don't know, I've been paying attention, I'm watching this, but you all look the same. I came into this problem a lot when consuming British media, is that not only are all the actors white, but they consistently hire actors that look the same. Here's my thing. I mean, if you don't want to cast people of color, I mean, you're an asshole, but at least, like, we couldn't have thrown a redhead in there. We could have a redhead, a blonde. That would have helped me. Anyway, Luke Thompson, he's at the top of this film. He plays just the commanding officer. He's not a main character. I think he has maybe 10 minutes of screen time. He does a really good job for the role that he has. Not many lines. He comes in and tells them to get their asses on the boat. Very commanding. Very well done. Okay, so I gotta go a little bit farther back and talk about the TV show he was in called In the Club. In the Club is a UK drama that centers around a club for pregnant women. Once again, very white. I will say we got some different hair colors in there. There were a couple characters that I was like, who are you again? There was one Indian couple though, so shout out. We casted a little bit more diversely in this. Okay, I'm putting it in the category of you're good, I'm waiting for you to be great. Unfortunately, I just feel like I was bored. The thing about British procedurals is they're so slow moving, and I don't care for that. It's not even like that they're slow moving and like, oh, I'm letting the actor act. It's slow moving in that there's so much B-roll. And I'm like, I don't care. I do not care about your B-roll. I want to see actors act. And that's kind of where my main qualm is. Luke Thompson, on the other hand, he plays this man who had an affair with a married woman, got her pregnant, and she's leaving her husband. He was good. He was great. I really appreciated his, he dedicates himself fully to every role that he does, and I really do appreciate that about him. I love it when you can tell that an actor's done their work. And I do, like, you can see it with a lot of actors, but I definitely think with him, you can tell, like, there's a liveliness to his character, which I really do appreciate. I'm having really bad vocal fry, y'all. Whenever I get nervous because I'm filming on camera, I have to do the vocal fry. It's pretty bad, y'all. Okay, the next thing I have is, this was another one that was taken off his IMDb, The Suspicions of Mr. Witcher, which was 4 episodes. I'm gonna be real with you. It's based off a book. It's about this detective who like solves crime and crap in like the 1800s. I'm gonna be real with you. I started episode 1 and let me show you what it's like. This is what every single shot was like. I'm not gonna move my camera. It would start, right? How are you doing today? I think the weather's rather nice. Oh no, nothing much. Every single shot showed them walking into the room, showed them, and I was like, I don't care. Hit me over the head with a bag of bricks. I don't care. Like, it was terrible. So like, it's one of those where it was 4 episodes, but they were all like an hour and a half long, and I was like, y'all, I can't do this. And I knew that Luke Thompson was only in the last episode, so I was like, I am going to the last episode. So I'm putting that in the category of what the hell was that? First off, okay, you can get the first episode on like Pluto TV. The second episode you can't get anywhere. The third episode and the fourth episode are on Tubi or something like that. Like, it was weird. You couldn't get them all on the same platform. Like I said, I started the first episode, watched 30 minutes, I was bored, I skipped to the episode Luke was in. It improved a lot because I didn't know who anyone was and I was trying to figure it out. So it made it more entertaining to watch because I was like, who's that? What are they doing? So the B-roll kind of made sense because I was trying to piece it together. It was much better. I highly recommend if you want to watch this, do that because the first 3 episodes or whatever. So, okay, the detective's trying to uncover who killed this nobleman, right? But he was staying with this husband and wife. The husband played by Luke Thompson. What the detective uncovers is the husband and the wife. They're siblings. They had to run away from their hometown because they were caught fornicating by the nobleman, and the nobleman outlawed them. And so the wife killed the nobleman to protect their secrets. However, Luke Thompson, I couldn't tell if he was like, I can't remember if he was older or what, if he was like the victim, but he didn't want to be in it anymore. Like, he wanted to be free of her, which I think he was older, so it was kind of like you kind of preyed on her a little bit. It was weird. It was very weird. Then the sister ends up hanging herself. I hope no one wants to watch this. The sister wife ends up hanging herself, and that's how it ends. And I will say, damn good acting from Luke Thompson. Here's my thing. I was appalled by the sibling thing, but then I marveled at his acting. I was like, holy shit. Like, he fully gives into this character. Like, I almost cried. I was like, why am I crying over this incest plot? This is disgusting. Oh my God, his acting is so good. So good. It's worth it to just watch the last 20 minutes of that episode to see his acting. So good. The next thing we have is Hamlet. It is on YouTube. Please go watch it. It's what made me fall in love with Luke Thompson as an actor and with Shakespeare. It's the classic story of Hamlet. However, it is set in like this modernist time period. The set is minimal. It's so well done. Julius Stevenson and Andrew Scott are the leads. And I was talking to someone about how much I love this performance, and they were like, oh my God, it was such fan service to Andrew Scott and Juliet Stevenson. Like, Juliet Stevenson isn't that supposed to be that involved in the production, like her character, the mother, is not supposed to be that involved. And it gave me pause because I'm like, I didn't say this, but I was like, I don't go back and watch Andrew Scott or Juliet Stevenson, even though they're really good in this. I go back and watch Luke Thompson. He has this particular scene at the beginning where he's, it's the one, his sister, Ophelia, is played by Jessica Brown Finlay, who is phenomenal. She was in Harlot, very good actor. But I love that scene between the two of them at the top of the show. It's so funny and it's so witty. And I think, once again, Luke Thompson translates that scene very well to a modern audience. Hamlet goes on, give him the award. The next thing I have is King Lear. That's National Theater Live. This one I did pay for. I paid for the Globe Theater one too. I've spent about $30 on this so far. I paid for a National Theater Live subscription for the month of October. Oh my God, I gotta cancel that. And then King Lear goes on, give them the award. King Lear, I think it's kind of dull. I think it's a little dull. It's too similar to Hamlet in my opinion, I think. And then I think sometimes the messaging gets a little lost in the sauce. But the staging of this play is absolutely next level. There is the floor is like caked in clay. So like Luke Thompson plays the non-bastard brother who's Scorn, and so he has to progressively get dirtier, and so he is able to wet his hands and take clay from the ground, which is so brilliant. And then there's also rain, like the stage fully rains. It's quite well done. I love it. That's why it goes and gives them the award for the staging. And then Luke Thompson, of course, is phenomenal in this. Oh my god, once again, just the greatest Shakespeare actor of our generation. Like, I'm tired of pretending like, oh, I think he is. I wish he would get more accolades for Shakespeare. I think truly phenomenal performance on his part. Fun fact, actually, when King Lear was being put on, Luke Thompson was not in the original cast. It was actually Jonathan Bailey, and this was in 2018, and he had to leave to go do Company. And they hired Luke Thompson to replace Jonathan Bailey, and then they went on to play brothers. Okay, let's talk about Kiss Me First. Kiss Me First is a Netflix show based on a novel of the same name. The novel takes place in chat rooms, and like, I've never read the novel, I just read reviews on Reddit. Half of this is set in like the real world, and this girl is dealing with her friend who has BPD, and the other side is set in this chat room. For the TV show, they decided to make it video game instead of a chat room, which I thought was a nice upgrade. However, this is going in the what the hell was that category, because what the fuck was that? I watched the first 4 episodes, 5 episodes actually. Luke Thompson's in episode 3 and 4, and I just, my first thing was I didn't enjoy the animation for the video game, which is like a personal preference. I don't enjoy video game animation, so I acknowledge that that's on me. However, it's good. You kind of get into it, and then there'll be like an out-of-pocket what the fuck thing. I don't even remember what the fuck things were, but I was just like, okay, but I was gonna watch it. I was muscling through it. Like, it was slow, and it was okay. And like, the whole thing about the video game world is there's this plot, this guy that's like trying, it's kind of like, not the Momo challenge, but like, you know, like where they like get you to do bad things in real life because of what's happening on the video game. It's slightly similar to that. Luke Thompson plays the main character's best friend's lover, who is cheating on his wife with her. There are some crazy scenes with Luke Thompson in this. He is in 2 scenes. He takes them over. So then I was like, okay, so Luke Thompson's out. Like, once I watched him in episode 4, I was like, okay, Luke Thompson's out. Like, it's okay. And I was like, I'll keep watching, because, you know, like, I'm interested. I'm kind of interested to see what's happening with the video game stuff. And then, out of left field, they introduced this fucking, like, teen kid is in the video game, and he's getting molested by this guy and by his uncle, and then he ends up killing himself and the guy who was molesting him, and like, that was presented as like a good thing, and like, it was bad. I was like, this was handled so poorly. It made me so upset. There was so much violence and destruction and death, and I was like, I'm not into this. And maybe it's just not my cup of tea, right? Like, maybe this could go in the okay category, but I don't know. Like, I vividly remember imagery from this TV series, and I'm like, it could have been great. I think it had a really strong concept, but I think the execution was not the best, in my opinion. I think it was a lot of unnecessary violence for the sake of violence, and I really, like, I say that as like a former American Horror Story fan. It was so much violence for what? I might have been able to find out, but I didn't finish the series because it was shit. So, okay, the next thing I have is Making Noises Quietly. And I put this in, I was kind of teetering on what the hell was that and okay. So, Making Noises Quietly is a play that discusses, it's about war hardships, right? So it tells 3 different stories. The first one is a man, who's played by Luke Thompson, who decides not to go to war. I can't remember why, but the town shames him. And then he meets another gay man, and they have a moment and connect in the field, and then he decides to go to war. It's 15 minutes. It's very interesting. Luke Thompson has a great performance. And then the next story is about this officer who is coming to tell this mother that her son has passed away, and her dealing with the grief in real time. The third story is about, I'll talk about the third story in a second. Because it's why it's in the okay category, because the first 2 stories are very well done. I will say it's well shot, it's very cinematic. When you're adapting something like a play, right? in a play, I can talk to the audience. I can talk to, what I'm saying to you can be dramatized because it's a drama. When you move something from stage to camera, you have to change things. Like, there's this line, he was talking about how he had this lover who saw this really hot soldier, and he was like, what do you want to do to him? And he was like, oh, I want to fuck him in the ass. And then Luke Thompson says, thank you. And the thing is we needed to focus on Luke Thompson for like 4 seconds more, like the shot needed to, for us to see that he was taking it in as like, oh, this man is sharing this with me. But it just flashed and had Luke Thompson say thank you, and I was like, what is this? Like, that would, like, I feel like that might make sense on stage, right? It did not translate to film. And then the second story, I think, was so beautiful and so well done and so well shot and so articulated well. The woman in this, the actress who is in this one is so phenomenal. Then we get to the third story. The third story is the reason that I almost put it in the what the hell was that one, but I was like, I feel like the second story really carried for this one. The third story was about this man who was taking care of his girlfriend's child who wasn't his, and the girlfriend's child chose to be mute, right? He would beat on the kid, which, hello. And then he like is wandering in the woods, and he finds this old woman, and he stays with this old woman, and the old woman's like, you shouldn't beat on him, da 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 da. And then she goes, because I survived the Holocaust. And then you realize that it's set in like the Afghan war, and the dad was like, he had been in Afghanistan or the Middle East. She's like, yeah, I was tortured in the Holocaust, so you shouldn't beat on him. And then she ends up fucking abusing him too. They end up beating on the kid and forcing him to speak. Like, he was just not, I was so confused, and I was sitting there like, am I being punked? Like, this beautiful, beautiful film so far. And it's so beautiful until the last 30 minutes when they smack him and they're like, come on now, speak. And like, I'm like, what is happening? I almost want to put it in what the hell was that, but the mom's story was so good. So I'm not going to, but yeah, Luke Thompson was good. He was only in the first 10 minutes of it, which was kind of sad because I was like, where's my man? The next movie we have is Misbehaviour. I'm putting that in the category good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Okay, Misbehaviour is a film about the Miss World pageant. It was being protested by feminists, and then it was the first one to be integrated, so to say. The reason that I think it's not like give them the award level is there was a lot going on, right? I have to commend them because their casting was really well. I could always tell who everyone was, despite the fact that it did have to be majority white women because we were dealing with subjects of race. There was just a lot going on because you had the protesters, right? The 2 black women competing in the pageant, and you had like the behind the scenes pageant people, and then you had the pageant side quest. And so I was just like, there was just a lot going on. I would have liked it if they had fleshed it out a little bit. I would have been interested to see this more so maybe as a limited series. I think that is the benefit of nowadays, because that was 2020. Limited series were on the rise just because it lacked focus. I think that's my main takeaway, and I wish we could have delved deeper. There is this really amazing scene between the woman who won Miss World and the woman, one of the protesters. But I thought it was good, and it was really cool because at the end, the actual women were in the credits. Like, the real women that they were portraying were in the credits, and I thought that was cool. Luke Thompson plays this man, a journalist, who is advocating for an integrated pageant. He was so fun. Like, he was the character you rooted for immediately because you're like, yeah, we want integrated pageants. He did a good job. Like, I don't have to comment too much on his acting on that. He was good. The next thing I have is Bridgerton. And of course, Bridgerton goes into the give them the award category. I am so incredibly excited about this new season. I love how they've adapted the books. Shonda Rhimes says this is her favorite season so far. I think after the backlash of the 3rd season, she's holding a bit of a tighter rein on this one. So I think the season's gonna be good. And I want to just comment on why I love Luke Thompson in this series. It's because if you watch him in the background, because he does have more theater training, he's always acting. He's always very active in the background, and I really appreciate that because you know he's done the work for his character. I love him. He's so good, and I'm so excited for his season. Anyway, okay. The next thing we have is Tikkum Olam, which was done in 2022. That's going in the Donde Está category because where is it? I don't know where it is, but it was on Letterboxd, so I was like, hello, someone has to have this. The next one in the Donde Está category is A Little Life. So the book, yes. So there was an adaptation of the book into a play, and Luke Thompson played one of the love interests, and it was filmed on a pro shot. We don't know where it is. Where can we find it? It was released in a few theaters, but I'm like, where is it? Everyone on Reddit's like, does anyone know where this is? And no one knows where it is. The next thing I have is Transatlantic, which I'm putting in the oh, okay category. Transatlantic follows this wealthy American woman who's studying abroad, whose father tells her to come home because the Nazis are invading and sending people to concentration camps. And she refuses to because she wants to help people get out of Paris. And her father threatens to cut her off, but she forms like this group that helps sneak people who are in danger out of the country. You have this overarching arc of her maintaining this organization while being cut off from her father and her perseverance. And then each episode you follow like a different family or diplomat that they're trying to escape out of the country. My big issue with this, one, it's like they licensed one song. The same fuck-ass song played every single episode, every 5 minutes. It killed me. I was sitting there and I was watching it and I was like, if I hear the do 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 do, if I hear it one more time, I'm gonna lose it. Anyway, I was so frustrated by that. The other thing that really frustrated me, there was 3 main things that frustrated me about this. I mean, the second one being that, once again, take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if it was the acting or the script writing or direction, right? So whenever something doesn't look or sound good, it can be the script writing. If the actor has lines that are not realistic, that can be hard to deal with. It can be the acting if the actor's not properly trained, if the actor doesn't have a sense of direction or a sense of character. Or it could be the director. The director could tell them, hey, I want you to act in this particular way. And maybe it disagrees with what the actor has said, but it's the direction and the stylistic choice of the director. I don't know which one it was. However, there was something off. And there were scenes where I thought the lead actress was very good and I loved her. But then there were scenes where I was like, is that the script? What is happening? And I think, so Luke Thompson comes in about the 3rd or 4th episode and he plays an American. First off, why is a British person taking an American actor's job? That's offensive on all levels and I think we need to talk about it. I'm so sick of British people taking American actors' jobs. Why does he play an American? But anyway, he plays an American like correspondent who helps. And I definitely think it was an issue with the script, which no hate. You obviously are at a better place than me because I obviously am not getting a script produced or published anywhere. However, I definitely realized it was the script when he came on screen because he was like fighting the lines and I was like, oh, Lord have mercy. His American accent is good though. Holy crap. The third issue that I had, this happens a lot when we talk about like Holocaust stories, right? So often the writers will write a 2-dimensional character to be this victim of the Holocaust. And the expectation is that the audience member cares about them because they're being persecuted, which is true. You should care about these people because they're human beings. However, I think the way they were written was so 2-dimensional. I was so frustrated throughout because it's like they were like, oh, the audience is going to care no matter what because they should. And they didn't try to develop real human beings. You know what I mean? Like I felt the script writing fell very flat, particularly when it came to the stories of the Jewish people who were escaping or the diplomats who were escaping, etc., etc. And that was really disappointing because first off, you're telling a story about Americans being saviors. You're telling this story about American saviors. You're fleshing them out fully as characters, but you're failing to flesh out the victims of the story. And that really made me upset because I was like, why are you doing, like, the whole point of this is to tell the story of those who were persecuted. You are failing them as a writer if you're not fully creating a round character for them. If they are a foil to the main characters, you're doing a disservice to that representation you were trying to bring. So that's why that's an okay. I almost put it in the one above that, but I was like, that last point really bothered me. I think it was well done. I think maybe if the script writing had gone back into the writer's room for maybe like 4 more months, they could have gotten something good. I know Netflix likes to churn out content, so I'm sure like it's not really the creative's fault. It's more of like we're on a tight timeline. That budget though, y'all needed to license at least 2 more songs because that pissed me off. And the last one we're gonna end on is Adonde Está. It's Love, Labour's Lost. So my favorite Shakespeare company is the Royal Shakespeare Company. I've never left the country. You might wonder why it's my favorite. It just is. They put on Love, Labour's Lost, which is my favorite Shakespeare play. Luke Thompson played the lead. And I asked them in the comments of their Instagram, I was like, hey, are you doing a pro shot? And they said, maybe. But it's nowhere to be found. That was in 2024, so I'm sure I'm not gonna get it anymore. But I'm really disappointed. I would like it. If anyone has an illegal footage of this, please send it to me. You don't have to put it on the internet. Just send it to me personally. Check out the links below and send it to me because I want it. I really want to see it. It's really brilliantly staged because they staged it like they're on a tropical resort, and it's so fucking cool. Oh, I want to see it really bad. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I told myself I would only focus on film content more so. Next month, I'm doing a video every month still. I'm on my monthly challenge. Next month, I'm gonna do a vlog of what happened at Film Fest. But, you know, I thought I'd take y'all along because let y'all see all the things. I mean, I can't take you to everything because I'll be backstage because I'm a moderator, but that's November's video. December's video is Jasmine and I are doing another book club. We're gonna be reading Twilight fanfics that were published. We're excited. January is going to be like my wrap up for 2025, my favorite books, my favorite movies, my favorite videos, my favorite music, all those things. And then in February, I would love to do another one of these ranking videos. So comment down below if you have any actors you're like, oh, you need to watch all of them. I am kind of thinking I've been obsessed with Audrey Hepburn since I was 4. I would love to go in and watch everything she's been in because I started watching Charades this summer. Oh my god, it's so good. I love Charades. So yeah, I would love to do that. Comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Luke Thompson film is, your favorite Shakespeare play is, what you're excited about in this season of Bridgerton, because I'm excited. I'm so excited. Please comment. I would love to build like a big community, you know, as I do this challenge. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Hello?